I'm nervous because I'm implementing some techniques today that are fairly new to me. I don't have much experience with white charcoal or spray fixative. I've used spray fixative in the past to finish off a piece, but I haven't used it as a way to continue working on something. Usually I only put it on a piece once it's done, and that's because once you put it on, you can't really change what you've done. Now, this is an issue that actually pertains to this project, but I'll get back to that in a second. There's another thing that came up with creating a triptych series that I wasn't anticipating. The thing is, when you are creating a series of pieces, by the time you get to the end of something, you get better. And this is good. This is a good thing to happen as an artist because you become more skilled and more knowledgeable, and you can then use these techniques going forward in the future. But the issue here is that because I got better, the pieces got better, and that means the first one does not look as good as the next two. Now, if we look at this piece and we compare it to the other two, the thing that you're gonna see is that there just isn't as much contrast. Compare it to the second one, and if you look here, the shadows are just a lot darker. What's really good about that is it just makes things pop. I was also able to keep some of these brights brighter. If I take this away, you can see it. The lights just aren't as strong, and here, I kind of just learned the technique more. I kind of got it down more. Now, if we compare it to the third one, look at that. The contrast is so much higher. Now, you might be thinking, this doesn't really sound like much of an issue. Why don't you just go through and erase out the areas you want brighter? And I would agree with you. The only issue is that I can't erase. Now, do you remember when I said that when I feel like I'm done with a piece, I use spray fixative on it so that it doesn't get messed with? Well, I thought I was done with this piece, so I sprayed it with fixative. I can still put charcoal on top. The only issue is I can't erase out. To get the brights brighter, I only really have one option, and that's to use a white charcoal pencil. I've already tested this out in this top corner here, and as you can see, it's working pretty well. So what I'm going to do is go through and try to brighten up the piece. I'm gonna go through and use this white pencil and just see if I can bring out some of those highlights and start developing some of that contrast that I'm talking about. To try and get the same feeling as the highlights on the other pieces, I'm making little circles with the white charcoal pencil. This kind of mimics the dotting technique I used with the eraser to kind of get that leaf texture. Now that I have the bright areas feeling a bit brighter, I'm going to go in with some compressed charcoal and a blending stump to try to get these darker areas to feel a little bit darker. So today, along with touching up this piece, I wanted to go through and use some spray fixative on the second and third pieces. I wanted to do that because after using some spray fixative, I can go through and touch up a few areas that just need like a little bit of lightening and just kind of get rid of some of the blemishes there. The issue with spray fixative though is that you can't really do it indoors. You have to do it outside because the chemicals in it can be really toxic. And unfortunately, it's raining outside right now, so I can't really do the spray fixative today. I did want to include that process in this video. I may have to just do it another time and potentially document it in another one. So I finished going through and putting in the darkest parts of the piece, which are behind the trees. Now what I want to do is darken up the undersides of these two trees, and I think darken up these bushes a little bit, and I think that should help bring out the contrast with the piece. So the rain stopped, which is great. It allowed me to go outside and use some spray fixative on the second and third piece. I wasn't sure how long the rain was going to stop for, so I didn't record. I didn't want to take the time to set up everything and miss my chance to use the spray fixative. While I wait for that to dry, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this piece, just continuing to get it polished. I think the contrast is definitely a lot better now. The darks are a lot darker, the brights are a lot brighter, and now I think I'm just going to clean things up a little bit. The other two pieces should be done drying now. I'm going to switch this one out for the second one and see if there's any cleaning I need to do. So overall, I don't think there's much that I need to do with this piece. I think there's just a few areas in the highlights that need to be just a little bit brighter with this, and that should do it. And I think that pretty much does it for this piece. Let's go ahead and move on to the third one. Just like the second one, the third piece only has a few areas that I want to touch up. The reason I use the spray fixative first before going through and using the white charcoal is because a lot of these areas that I'm touching up, I couldn't quite erase out with the eraser. If I wanted to use white charcoal on those areas to kind of blend them in and make them bright again, I wouldn't really be able to, because what happens with white charcoal is it blends very easily with the dark charcoal. I needed to use spray fixative first to make sure that all the darks stayed where they were. I didn't want them blending in with the white and creating even bigger patches that I was trying to clean up. Okay, I think that's it. I went through and I tweaked all three pieces, and now it's time to just see them together. And that's the Triptych series. I don't even know what to say. I did it. It's October now, and I started the first piece back in May. So it's been about 5 months. I think starting the YouTube channel kind of put a little bit of a fire under my belly and motivated me to get these other two done a lot quicker. It's making me realize that YouTube and my art kind of have a symbiotic relationship. By making a video every week, it motivates me to make art. And by making the art, it gives me something to make videos about. I started this channel with documenting my art process as a bit of an experiment. My goal with this series was to learn how to make videos. I wanted to learn how to edit, I wanted to learn how to shoot, and I wanted to learn how to be in front of a camera. And I think it's working. I can really feel myself developing these skills. So now what? Well, I just want to keep making videos about art. I want to do artist demos, I want to talk about different types of philosophies pertaining to art, I want to give tips and advice, and I want to document any future projects that I may create. So, if any of that sounds like it's up your alley, then subscribe, because I'll be making some of those videos really soon. And I think that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you like it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.